In 2018, 13.29% of all murder victims, totaling 19 women, were murder victims, a record for the highest number of women killed in any year. In 2019, 12.69% of all murder victims, or 17 women, were murdered. And in 2020, 10.78% of all murder victims, or 11, were female. It may be a troubling trend, one that Executive Director of the National Women's Department, Cynthia Williams, believes is linked to gender roles and sexism.
When it comes to violence against women, it's all about power and control. And one of the things that often people don't really look at is the fact that it really happens within a continuum of violence. It's not a standalone. And it's really something that, because it's within the continuum, we've accepted it in so many ways. We have normalized it. And we fail to recognize that when we look at femicide, it is the ultimate. It's really the ultimate form of violence that we can women experience in their lifetime.
Sadly, that ultimate expression of violence hasn't just been reserved for adults. It's also been visited upon children. 19 female minors were killed between 2009 and 2020, and the average age of those girls was just 12 years old. And it won't surprise anyone to learn that 15 of those girls were killed in the Belize district. Williams says that efforts to protect Belize's children from unnecessary harm must be multi-sectoral and address what she refers to as normalized violence.
When we look at the entire aspect of family violence, and family violence includes domestic violence as well. It includes physical abuse against girls as well. It includes sexual violence. And so the question that we also have to ask is, who are those who are committing the murders? Who are killing those children? And you find that a lot of times are people that they know, people who are in their family or people who are very closely related to them. And so it goes back again to the discussion of how we have normalized violence, where any type of discussion where we bring physical discipline into the context, it is resisted. And so it is important to ensure that we begin to learn newer ways of discipline, newer ways of how to communicate and how to deal with conflict, how to deal with our children.
And whatever her age, the killing of a woman stands out because it is a signal that society is turning upon itself. And back in record-breaking 2018, we got this perspective on femicide from violence anthropologist Dr. Herbert Gale.
It's an indicator of what we call a level 2 war, meaning that no longer are people at the base level of violence, but they're stepping it up to a higher level in which they are addressing the replicator, because one of the rules of war is you do not kill women and children. And once people do that, they're actually triggering a larger war, because they know when they kill the person biologically who replaces us, who can reproduce, who can replace us, that's why we call him a replicator, they know for sure that what they're doing is triggering a deeper set of emotion, and a deeper set of emotion means a wider frame of killing. So there is reason to be concerned.
And while up-to-date statistics of how many of these femicides were committed by the woman's intimate partner are not readily available, we can tell you that of the total 1,199 domestic violence complaints in Belize City over the last 2 years, 941 were against a present or past intimate partner. Williams says it's often the leaving or attempt to leave a troubled relationship that condemns a woman.
When someone is trying to leave those type of relationship, it is the most dangerous time. And you will hear from some of those specific experiences of people, of women dying, that they were attempting to leave or they had left the relationship. And this is when they are killed. It further tells us then that we have to ensure that whenever these women are trying to leave these relations, that is when they require the most support, so that we protect them and ensure that we safeguard their lives. In terms of Belize, all of them that at least that we have documented, it is by their partners. I think one of the things that we look at femicide is the fact that women are killed because of the fact that they are women. because they are female. And these takes the forms in multiple ways. And so for in Belize, we often see we see the result of intimate partner violence with partners killing their partners. The underlying factors and causes of what drives these type of issues is different from a regular murder. And the impact that it has, it's also different. So when we look at the impact it has on families, the impact it has on the community, and in addition to that, it also further perpetrates other forms of violence, because if perpetrators feel that they can inflict violence on their partners and they don't really are not held accountable, or the laws are not as strong in any country, then they will not stop.
Charisse Halsall, 7 News.